Welcome into another edition of The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor, presented by LBs Meat Market. I'm Neil McCready. That's Greg Jones of LBs Meat Market. Caroline McCready there in Fayetteville with, the name of the damn dance company. We were looking at Legacy Dance. We were looking at the dance companies in different places in Northwest Arkansas. She showed me like the big time dance company in Bentonville over the weekend, so that kind of threw me off. Had a big weekend in Fayetteville. We'll talk about that in a minute with Caroline. We won't talk too much about her football team because that was pretty rough. But fired the coordinator, so already firings have started here in October. So we got lots to get to here on The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor. Greg's in Keeneland at Lexington. We might get to see part of a horse race today, so this should be exciting stuff.
Yeah. Why not get where do you get a live horse race on any other podcast? And
nowhere, absolutely nowhere. It's unbelievable. It's we tape this on Zoom every Wednesday, and Zoom has done an update, and you guys have no idea how freaked out I was just then by the update, because where I normally go to hit record is where I end the call. I was like, oh gosh, and I almost hit it. So I caught myself. So first of all, we'll get into all stuff about LBs and everything. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Awesome.
Okay. Had a big week?
Yeah.
Not really.
I mean, probably wasn't fun in Fayetteville, but Oxford was good.
Yeah. All right. 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. That's where LB's Meat Market is, right across the street from Kroger. It's the place to go to for all of your freshest cuts. If you're coming up for the Vanderbilt game this week, Texas A&M next week, make LB's part of your weekend. They've got beef, pork, chicken, fresh seafood. They've got lunches on Thursdays and Fridays. They've got the house-made sausages that are just fantastic. They've got wings, stuffed mushrooms, stuffed jalapeno peppers, so much. I'm probably leaving things out. When you walk in on the left side, there's the frozen section. Go over there, grab something out of the frozen section. It's fresh. They just froze it. They did the thing where you vacuum seal it, put it in there. It's $2 off everything there on the left side from the frozen section. So it's the go-to place. You want to make the temperatures are about to change. We've got a few more days of the heat. Then the cooler weather's coming in, and then next week a lot of really cool weather, which is perfect for lighting the grill and going outside and enjoying the weather. This weekend, Ole Miss and Vanderbilt at 6:30, so it's a night game. If you want to grill ahead of time, you can. Next weekend, if you want to think ahead, for Texas A&M, it's an 11 a.m. game, so you'll have all evening Saturday to enjoy either a victory or drown your sorrows. And best way to do that is to light the grill and make it happen. Right, Greg?
Yeah, fire pit weather. We call this fire pit weather.
Absolutely.
Get the fire. Good time to We've been looking at that fire pit all summer long. You're like, you know what? I can't wait to get the fire pit going. So fire pit weather.
Yeah, we've got an outdoor fireplace that's maybe my favorite thing in our entire house. We got a wood shipment happening in the next hour. I'm geeked about. I have tons of wood, because what happens, and Caroline can relate to this, is I'll light a fire and I'm getting all excited about it, and Caroline's mom, my wife Laura, is like, "Don't use too much of the wood." I'm like, "Well, that's what the wood's for, is to burn it. It's there, it's to burn it." And she's like, "Well, don't want to use it up. We want to save it." I'm like, "For what are we saving it for? We're saving it for another." It's not like we live in the Arctic where it's going to get a lot of nights where we get to do this. Let's light the fire and see how hot we can make it. That's where I come from on it. So we got more wood coming in, so I won't have to hear about don't burn the wood. If anything, this weekend it's going to be, hey, you need to burn some of that wood. So I'm like excited about that.
Is there a particular wood you get?
My friend Mr. Oswald delivers the wood. He usually brings he just kind of brings a mix.
Oak and
he'll bring some oak, some post oak. Sometimes he'll mix in a little maple or pecan or whatnot. I mean, he's good, and he'll bring me some of the little pieces to get.
Yeah, it's awesome to get delivered to your house. Also, that's even better.
Yeah,
get delivered to your house.
He's a stud. All right, let's dive into the games. Got a weekend of college football ahead. Let's recap last weekend. Greg, you're not at crisis mode yet. We're getting there. Greg went 4-5 last week.
Did Navy not kick the field goal for me to cover the 10.5 last week? Is that what happened?
That is correct.
Unbelievable.
That is correct. Caroline got that game. You did not. It's becoming a theme. Greg went 4-5. Caroline, meanwhile, went 6-3, gave one away with the Razorbacks. Otherwise, it would have been even bigger weekend. 6-3 for Caroline. The season records now, Greg, you're still above 500. You're 42-41. Caroline, meanwhile, is making money. Caroline is 49-34, 15 games above 500. I mean, having herself a season. Caroline, what is? I know you don't want to share the secrets, but are you surprised that here we are in week 9 of this competition and you're winning the way you are?
I mean, I'm kind of shocked, but you can't think about it too hard or you're gonna get it wrong. I don't think about it. I'm just like,
you can't overthink it.
I like this. I don't like this school. I like this school, so let's do it.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, you enter the week up.
That's the right way to pick a horse too. Like whenever it walks out and you look at it, it's always a yes or a no. There's no like somebody talks you into it, but like, hey, you know what? Like he might be good. It's either yes or no, and you got to stick to your gut.
You know, I'm a big NBA guy. Nikola Jokic with the Denver Nuggets. He's big into horses over in Europe when he goes back and
he's a harness racer. He's a harness racer.
Yeah, he scouts horses in his spare time. That's what he says too. You either know or you don't. You know yes or no when you look at the horse.
Oh, here they are.
All right, let's see. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, look at that. They're moving.
Look at that. They were going to sneak up on me
down the stretch. They're rolling.
It's pretty cool.
That is really cool. All right, we will. Oh, there it goes. We'll start with.
I wish it was a dirt race because we're literally like 10 feet away from the dirt track. So
yeah, we'd
really heard some action.
We'd hear them on the dirt track. All right, with Caroline, you get to lead off since you won the week. It's South Carolina at Texas A&M. This game is at 11 a.m. It's on ESPN. The Gamecocks are a 14-point underdog in College Station.
I hate Texas A&M, but I'm going to pick them this week.
See, that's what's interesting is that you're able to express the emotion and yet not let the emotion rule your pick, which is that was your sister's downfall at times. Was like she just hated certain teams, and so by God, never picked them, no matter what, even when it made sense to pick them. I'm not saying this is a good pick or a bad pick, but I'm
dumb to pick Arkansas now. You know, like that'd be dumb. Not this week, obviously, but just like in general, if I were to pick Arkansas, that'd just be me being biased when clearly they're horrible, you know?
Well, they're horrible on offense for sure. Yet they, I don't know. We'll talk about, there's an Arkansas game down the road that I actually think they're going to pull off an upset. We'll talk about it later. All right, Greg, she's going to take the Aggies and lay 14.
I'm agreeing with her. I think that Texas A&M plays really good against bad teams, and I think South Carolina is one of those bad teams.
Yeah, I do too. I actually like this pick. It's one of my favorite picks of the week. I think A&M is going to blow South Carolina out and set up a really exciting game in Oxford next weekend. All right, we go to the world's greatest outdoor cocktail party in Jacksonville, Florida. It's the Georgia Bulldogs and the Florida Gators, Greg. This is a 2:30 game on CBS at Everbank Stadium there in Jacksonville. Georgia, Greg, is a 14.5-point favorite.
I like Georgia. I'm going to take better teams. I'm not going to think about the rivalry and how maybe Florida might stick around. I just feel like Georgia's a better team and they'll make a statement and hopefully win by 3 or 4 touchdowns.
All right, Cairo, he's gonna take the Dogs, lay the 14.5 against the Gators.
I'll take Georgia too.
Okay.
I like them.
All right, Caroline. It's Mississippi State, a team that you and I saw together last week in Fayetteville. This week they're at Auburn. This is a 2:30 game on the SEC Network. Mississippi State, Caroline's a 6-point underdog at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
I'm gonna go with Mississippi State. I don't like Auburn and I don't like their coach. So I'm gonna hope it's Mississippi State.
I'm with you. Greg, Caroline's going to take the Bulldogs, lay this and take the 6.
I never take Mississippi State, and I'm going to take them. So I like them. After seeing Hugh Freeze's ninth grade football team play last week, I feel like he's confident that he has a job for at least another year. So yeah, that was pretty bad. So the thought of me taking Auburn after watching that, I'm going to take State.
There's been a lot of bashing of Hugh Freeze on MPW Digital over the last 10, 11 days. And I just have to say that I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It has been great. And I'm hoping we can continue for a while. I've had people go, don't you think you've got
isn't junior high older than ninth grade? Right. So that's what I was going to give them a 7th grade football
junior
team.
High's junior high
because
or no, 9th grade.
No, that was a 7th grade football team that was on the team. They were bad.
7th grade. If that's the case, they've got
good
more
job,
L's.
Hugh.
They've got more L's coming their way. I think
sure.
I think they have more L's coming their way. All right, Greg, we go to the Pac-12, another Pac-12 showdown. They've had at least one a week every week this year, to their credit. Last year of the league and going out with a bang. It's Oregon going to Salt Lake City to play Utah. The Ducks are a 6.5-point favorite on the road.
I like Utah. They played a good game against USC, and obviously they have USC's number. It looks like. I like the Ducks' offense. I think offense prevails, but I wouldn't be surprised if Utah covers. But I like Oregon to win the game, but I'm going to take Oregon. I'm going to take Oregon.
Okay.
Wow, that was real indecisive.
You were dancing around on that. I was getting ready to say you're going to have to clarify. All right. Greg's going to take Oregon and lay 6.5 on the road, Caroline.
I'm going to take Utah. I always do because I like the YouTubers and TikTokers from there.
Yeah, you've stayed with the Utes all year, and they've been good to you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, science is what it is. All right, Caroline, we go to the ACC now. It's Duke coming off of that loss to Florida State. They go to Louisville. The Cardinals 18th in the country, the Blue Devils 20th in the country. This game's at 2:30 on ESPN there in the Commonwealth. Duke is a 4-point underdog in Louisville.
Yeah, I'm good with Louisville. I like their dance team a lot. They're really good.
Again, more science there, Greg. She's going to take the Cardinals and lay the 4.
Yeah, Duke looked like they just were a lost puppy without that quarterback. I think he was hurt the fourth quarter of that game. So I like the Card, Louisville Card. Go wherever they do the Louisville. Go Cards.
All right, a big game where you are, Greg. It's Tennessee is at Kentucky. The Volunteers coming off the loss at Alabama. We watched a good bit of that, Caroline, until we started playing Mario Kart on Saturday. Tennessee is a 3.5-point favorite on the road at Kroger Field in Lexington. This game's a 6 p.m. kick on ESPN. Greg, I'm curious what's the mood like in Lexington with this?
It's not good. I think it's they're ready for basketball season. I had a guy tell me that he always sits in the same spot. He's been sitting there for 15 years. And then there's a guy that is 84 years old and has always stayed, no matter how. I mean, Kentucky had some real bad teams back in the 80s and 90s and whatnot. But he has usually stayed for every game. But last week he got up in the middle of the third quarter and left. 84 years old. So morale is not good here in Lexington. So I think Tennessee rolls. So I got to just trust my insiders' information on this. Just a lot of penalties. Kentucky has a lot of penalties, leads the country in penalties, and the least amount of plays per game or something like that. So it's just slow, boring football, and they're kind of fed up with it. So I think Tennessee is going to roll them.
All right, Caroline, he's going to take the Vols, lay the 3.5 on the road.
I agree. I think Tennessee for sure.
Oh, not good news for the home team there. Good thing it's racing season and basketball season.
Yep,
if that's the case.
They love their racing. They definitely love their basketball. So
racing, basketball, and bourbon. That's sort of the trio there in Kentucky.
It is
hard to beat. I agree with them. All right, one last game. It's Vanderbilt hitting the road to Oxford. They will play at Ole Miss. The Rebels now ranked 12th in the country after the win over Auburn. This game's at 6:30 on the SEC Network. Caroline, Vanderbilt is a 25.5-point underdog. 25.5.
Oh, poor Vanderbilt. I'm gonna go with Ole Miss.
Oh, you're gonna lay those points? Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I mean they're not good. Yeah, I thought about taking Vanderbilt, but that never worked for me at the beginning of this. So I'm gonna take Ole Miss.
I don't think we've ever won on Vanderbilt. Like me, I don't think either one of us.
Yeah.
I don't think so either. All right, Greg, she's gonna take the Rebels and lay 25.5 points. It's just such a big number.
I'm going to take Ole Miss too. Like I feel like it's a good thing going on. Spencer Sanders might score, have 3 touchdowns in the second half. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I'm kind of going Vanderbilt in the points here is it's the emotional
That's
reservoir.
garbage for
Yeah, I just kind of. I mean, Ole Miss has just played. They played Alabama, LSU, Arkansas, Auburn in a row, and now they've got on the other side of this Texas A&M and then Georgia. I mean, they're. I just think this is that game where you're like, okay, we got it, enough. Let's not use up emotional energy. Let's not use up real energy. Let's not play. Let's not get anybody hurt. And sometimes those games end up getting sloppy, and a 28-point game becomes a 17-point game. You know what I mean? Kind of like that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's never any dull moments in any Ole Miss game ever.
Yeah. All right. Greg, what are you playing for the weekend? How long are you in Lexington?
I'm going to go see the little Philly in the morning at Churchill. My mom packed some peppermints and carrots. So I'm going to go give her a peppermint and a carrot and hang out with her in the morning, then get back to Oxford tomorrow afternoon and get the store set up and ready for homecoming.
Caroline, the Razorbacks have an open date. You,
Yep.
I saw where there's expecting a huge crowd for basketball. Are you going to make it to Bud Walton for the hoops game?
I'm not. I did not know it was going to be a big thing. Nobody's going. So
No one's going. Okay.
I do want to go. Isn't it Duke?
Yeah. Duke's plays you guys next month.
In November. Yeah, I want to go to that one.
Yeah, you better.
I'll show you. They're cleaning the track right now. How close it is.
Oh, look at that!
Nothing runs like a deer.
Look at that! That's awesome.
Hey guys, y'all are on a podcast.
What do you play?
It's cool. Weather's beautiful up here. Every tree is, the perfect shade of, fall. It's nice in Kentucky in October and November.
Yeah, I remember Ole Miss played up there in early November, like 2011, I want to say, and it was just gorgeous. God, it was beautiful. I love Kentucky. I think Lexington's one of the really cool towns in the league. All right, Caroline, what do you have planned for the weekend?
It's Halloween, so tomorrow we have our Halloween function, and then Saturday I have I have 4 21st birthday parties to go to, and then I'm just gonna be chilling the rest of the weekend.
4?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
4
Everybody's
parties? Wow.
Yeah.
That's more parties than I go to in like 3 years, Greg. I mean,
Well, you just gotta show.
That's what I was about to say.
Show your face, and then you leave.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's one of those parties. Well, I'm really good at those.
Yeah.
As long as is there a free drink involved too, I can do that for sure.
Yeah, there's food, there's drinks. Yeah.
Oh,
you and me just have to kind of throw a party, Greg. We'll just say it's somebody's birthday, and we'll just have food.
Yeah.
I'll light the fire, and we'll just pretend it's somebody's birthday and whatever.
I can make up anything. I promise you that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. I got invited to my buddy's box, and he's got a horse in the last race. So hopefully I can get my picture taken in the winner's circle here in about a couple hours. So going to go down the paddock and be amongst the people. So it should be fun. It's always a good time. You need to make a trip up to Keeneland.
Yeah, I need to make that happen. All right, real quick, Greg, before we go, tell the people how they can get in touch with you for the weekend if they want to place an order, and as frankly as they start getting ready for the next 2 weekends. It's homecoming this weekend, and then the next week's game is going to be a monster, assuming Ole Miss beats Vanderbilt. How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, always call the store 662-259-2999. I've got Instagram. I always check that, and I try to post as many pictures of specials that we've got. We've got a couple specials going on. The lane trains are Wednesday and Sunday, 2 for $20, and then on every other day they're 2 for $22. We started doing a strip special on Tuesday, $20, 16-ounce prime strip, and then so we'll get fresh fish on Thursday, and we'll be stocked up. I made flying pig sausage, and I made a spicy duck sausage also that's actually really good. So, and also made crawfish boudin. So got enough sausage to get us through for this weekend, but next weekend we're going to be pretty full, and be ready for hopefully back-to-back wins and going to Athens 8-1.
All right. Appreciate you guys very much. As always, it was a fun time visiting with you. We'll be back next week with another edition of The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor presented by LBs Meat Market. We'll turn our attention to that Ole Miss Texas A&M game and other games. Caroline's team back in action next week at Florida. So maybe we'll talk about that as well. Maybe the Razorbacks will catch the Gators on a letdown, Caroline. That's all I can come up with now. It's just you got to psychology at this point.
Whatever.
Yeah. All right, that does it for the show. And for Greg Jones, Caroline McCready, I'm Neil McCready. Until next week, you guys take care.